I asked Dufeck to send me another box. Let's see what we got. Oh, it looks like a fine one. Another nice little midget. Yes, hooray! I'll sand this one out. We'll have another nice little midget. This one won't have a purple bottom. Yes, thank you, thank you. We're making progress with our boxes from Dufeck Manufacturing in Wisconsin. This box was sealed with shellac. In the end, I did not thin it. I just didn't stir it. Shameful. Very smooth. I'm so pleased. I want this to feel good in your hands when you're using it. And now it's time to decorate the box. I've already got a line to cover up, won't cover up, but mask somewhat. The staples will have a color down here, beautiful grain on the box, will be pointed at by some birds, abstract birds that will begin here at this line and then continue on around the box. This is on tracing paper. It will have to be transferred. You know how we do that. And we're going to end this upper band. These are incised designs from Paracas, 100 BC, 100 AD. I'll show you an example of a bowl that has a similar bird on it. This would be a Vencejo, fly catcher or a mosquito catcher. I'm going to end my upper area here. This will float in natural wood. The wood isn't bad, it's just undistinguished. And we will end the foot right here so that the bird appears to be pecking. Now, here are some seeds for it to peck. Don't go there. I don't think I'm going to do that. This will get transferred. Hooray, it's all drawn. I wanted to show you the sort of, so many. I've been so lucky to get to look at museum pieces, also in private collections. This is a Paracas incised bowl that has a Vencejo design on it. You can see the eye, the beak, the wings forward, also the tail coming back, and the little relievers that indicate a feather. Here's another one here that is more like the one that I am doing. Oh, please show. Please show so we can see you. Tough. This is what a lady would have been holding in her hand, 100 BC, 100 AD, in the south coast of Peru for her beans. And the bottoms of these are all rounded. They don't have feet, as we would expect. This one also has a feline on it. So that's what we were taking, and I was being bold in the old days, making myself examples of this sort of thing with a CAD program. In the meantime, I don't care for this. I thought, I mistook that. But I found a shard that has this. I love these circle relievers. You want your design to balance round with straight so that it has both strength and grace. This one is very much straight, but still, what a lovely design. I was trying to design tiles. This is too long and thin for a tile. It wouldn't be stable. Oh, and something to go on the bottom of the box. The top of the box will have a couple little birds on it of this type. These are actually Nazca. Not fair, don't switch, but see, I've got anomalies here that are bugging me. So this will be very minimal Couple of little birds here, maybe another one that's standing of the same abstract style. 3 little birds. What was that woman thinking? But the outside will be completely colored, so we'll have color here. We might even come in and extend the edge a bit if things get too rocky going around here. It's difficult to get this edge to work. And around the bottom, I got big problems on the bottom. The top is pretty, but the bottom has got what looks like an oil stain, but it's not. It's in the wood. It didn't come out. And we're going to put a great big abstract Vencejo on here of a different type that fits around the top of a ceramic. I stole it from one that's in a different collection. And this will be big and bold. I'm not putting the twig in its mouth. This is my inspiration. Not the ceramics themselves, which I do not have here. It's from a book on tile by Jill Herbers. The Paracas would have had a red earth, probably a green from copper minerals. I don't know how they made a plum color, but they had one. Spondulus shell from the Bay of Guayaquil up north might very well have fried itself to nothing in a ceramic kiln. They had a yellow. In fact, I think they had 2 yellows. Not remote. We're not going to go for this turquoise color here. I don't think that would be there. But otherwise, this is a rich and beautiful palette, and we can adapt this, not leaving any white reserved, but natural wood. So we'll take advantage of natural wood. Maybe that will be our other yellow. I'll show you what I'm mixing. This is going to be a lot of line work to establish the incised areas. This is raw umber and burnt umber and a little bit of casein medium. The trick is I don't actually need something that's super thick and opaque. I need something that looks like the darkest color of the wood, but it needs to really work well for lining. So we'll pay special attention to our consistency. Here's my mixing brush. We're going to get to work. I've moved indoors. It isn't quite as bright in here, but I need a nice place where I can sit down and not be standing trying to paint lines. I noticed when I was transferring this that all of the lines are faint curves, and I'm wondering about the fact that the lines actually are curves because the original ceramics, of course, are rounded. But I also thought about the fact when transferring this design from the tracing paper. Oh, not acceptable. From the tracing paper to the board, that the ladies that did the ceramics did not have the luxury of tracing paper or anything like that. They had to know the designs by heart and produce them. What could be more straightforward? Then I realized that I didn't know for sure that it was women who were producing ceramics in the Paracas culture. Maybe it was families. Maybe it was like knitting in the European Middle Ages. Only men were allowed. I don't know how they fired ceramics either, because that was really the Paracas Valley is terribly dry. When you look at folk firing of ceramics in Japan, they have think of those hillside kilns where they use vast amounts of wood and fire for 2 days and carry on. They're living in an area with a lot of water and would have wood like that, which was, I don't think, the case in Paracas. But if you're not burning wood, what are you burning back in pre-Columbian days? So these are the lines that will surround the colors we put on, and I realize looking at this, it's not remote from what we've got here on the tiles. The tiles also have black surrounds. So here we go. It's not quite as light in here as it is out on the porch, but this is pretty delicate work. Can see why I couldn't possibly work on a really super valuable box. I'd go crazy thinking, oh, I've gotten it crooked. When in fact, in the old days, I painted a lot of boxes and didn't worry about it. This is not very even. Let's get ourselves an even line here. Knowing that this will be less prominent with brilliant colors impinging on it from both sides. Now, so this is the wing. This is actually the shoulder of the bird right here that I'm outlining. The part that the wings are coming off of. We have a wing top, a wing bottom, and in the middle is the body of the bird with the tail coming off of it. Would be entertaining to do lots of these and gradually develop your own look so that you got just the for something as abstract as this, to still get a very genial idea of this being a creature, that would be worth the repetition. You'd come out with a very lovely motif. You could embroider this. That wouldn't be impossible either. Okay, it's come to this, folks. We're doing the circle. I've been putting the lines in that will surround the colors. This last one is long and straight. Let's see what we can do. This isn't really a liner brush, but it's the one we're using. If I were a ceramic manufacturer, folk manufacturer from the Paracas period, I would not be following lines laying this out. I would, of course, be cutting the design into the clay from memory. The line work is pretty average, but the design, it seems to me the eye could have gone a little lower. We'll see what it's like with color. For all of my talk about matching up pre-Columbian, we're not in a pre-Columbian situation here. We're painting on wood. I'm trying to mix a yellow. It appears that I have originally thought about two different yellows when looking at this culture. Naples yellow will get me closer to this with a little green in it, but I want to have just one yellow, so I've taken some Naples yellow, mixed a little bit of cadmium. Why did I do that? Yellow medium, that stuff is will last you a lifetime. Brought it down from the edge with some raw sienna And then I added a little bit of Terra Verde, and I wonder if I want a little bit more. When painting cabinets in the old days, I always mixed every color into every other color. Often the color scheme for the cabinet was created in the mixing of the paint, so that I had a large amount of this, a medium amount. It settled itself that way, but it was not good studio technique, but frequently I achieved that by just not washing out my brush. I've mixed a red. I'm risking my Eternals. Now the red with Paracas is actually rather an orange, and this is very orange, so maybe we're not having red at all. Maybe we're just having orange. But all I had on hand was cadmium red, which is just brilliant. I mean, it's a Wayne Thiebaud candy store red. It's so gorgeous. And I thought Dante has got a particular circle of hell for people who put raw sienna into a color like this to bring it down to something that you could readily achieve with vegetal or much less exciting colors, but it was what I had, and so I'm going to that circle of hell, and it reads red. So, and it goes with the other colors. The cadmium would just have made you wonder what century you were in. So this will be red up here, and then we'll decide if we're going to make the eye yellow or not. The yellow is very similar to the wood color, too similar for design purposes. We'll have red down here. Then we'll decide, does this eye need to be yellow? Then there would only be one reserved. We'll talk. I've transferred the designs, and we're going to do our finest outlining. You can kind of see them in black here, and as if we are a cloisonné artist doing our copper outline, and then we'll put color inside so that will finish the box with some more naturalistic birds perhaps than we have already on the box. It'll be really fun to see. I had an inspiration about how to do a good job on something like this when it's not your tradition. You've never painted these before. You may never paint them again. You should have practiced them 6 times, but you didn't. How can you do a good job? And I finally figured out, think about the person you're painting it for and how much you like them. And then you can't lose, because then your pleasure at their acquaintance will show in the painting. I'm just trying to get as much variety as I can in the color combinations here. Whoops, did I already paint this yellow and now I'm putting blue over the top? That's interesting. So they're as colorful as possible, but yeah, think about who you're painting this for and how much you like them, and that will come out in the painting, and then you've really got what you want.